Hi, this is Erica, an associate marriage and family therapist at Embracing You Therapy. Are you one of those people who's anxious when you're around others, but then depressed when you're alone? This can look like, when you're around people in social situations, your mind can start racing. You might start having fear of people's judgments about you, or whether you're doing the right thing or performing correctly in social situations. But then when you're alone, you end up feeling down and lonely, and you start feeling like you're lacking that social connection. It is such a frustrating cycle to be in, craving connection, but also feeling overwhelmed by it. If this is your experience, you're not alone at all. So many people struggle with the push and the pull of social anxiety and also with loneliness-induced depression. Understanding why this happens and learning to manage our emotions can lead to overall relief and also Understanding why this happens and learning to manage our emotions can lead to helping us find balance and relief. Let's talk about how anxiety and depression feed off of each other. So when it comes to social anxiety, when you're around other people, your mind might start racing. You might have some self-doubt, fear of judgment. There's also this pressure you feel to perform correctly. This can lead to avoidance of social interactions, missing out on social connections, and overall feeling further and further isolated. And then when you're alone, being in solitude can provide relief from that anxiety of being around others. But over time, you start feeling low energy. You feel maybe feelings of worthlessness and increased sadness. Without social interaction and connection, the mind can really start spiraling into negative thinking, which reinforces depressive symptoms. So this becomes the vicious cycle, right? The cycle of feeling anxious around others, starting to avoid it, and then becoming more and more depressed through loneliness when you're avoiding that social interaction. So I wanted to talk about a few tips to combat social anxiety. Firstly, we all have those negative self-talk or beliefs that come up, right? So in those moments when you're noticing a negative thought come up, try to start challenging that thought. Ask yourself, what is the evidence that this thought is true? Over time, starting to challenge your negative self-beliefs can lead to better perspective and more balanced perspective. It does take time and practice, but it can be done. Second, try making small stake social interaction goals. This can look like reaching out to a friend, maybe making eye contact with someone in public, like a barista, smiling. Just these small interactions that can really remind our brain that it's not as scary as our brain is making it seem. Social interactions, while at times can feel uncomfortable, are not dangerous. So it's important to gradually remind ourselves that social interaction is safe and that it's important to engage with it. Lastly, embrace meaningful alone time. So instead of using alone time and solitude to isolate yourself, use it to nurture yourself. Engage in a hobby or an interest, maybe do some self-care. Get outside. Nature is extremely important in healing. We want to shift our mind from I'm alone because no one wants me to I'm using this time alone to recharge and take care of myself. Starting to use alone time to take care of yourself can reduce depressive symptoms and also make social interactions feel less intimidating because there ends up being less pressure on it. Everyone struggles with feelings of insecurity and loneliness at times. What matters most is understanding that you can have the power over your worries and to start challenging them and making sure that you are working on putting yourself out there and still connecting with others, which can reduce symptoms of depression. Start building habits that support your mental health. Start reinforcing your understanding of your own self-worth and reframing your alone time so that you can benefit from it and start feeling better. I hope you enjoyed these tips and that they provide some relief. Thank you so much.